I am plus size, and I feel like it's like it's making me get in my head about dating. I've actually never had a boyfriend. Up until now, I considered myself a lesbian, but I've been trying to date more men. I've always been bisexual, but I just find that women are a lot more accepting, and I've never really felt the same sort of level of like attraction and want as a woman. So I would love any advice that you could give. I'm almost 400 pounds, but I do,
Oh,
I feel like I look
100
cute. I have a
pounds
really nice shape. People always tell me that they don't think I weigh that much,
for
but I think it's more like mental. I know that men
400 pounds and people don't think you weigh that much.
want to enjoy my body, but I've never had anyone really want me for me, I guess. And it's also a little bit difficult to date because I am high earning. I'm a full time content creator. And whenever I meet guys, I usually tell them I'm a teacher, because I am a Hebrew teacher. But, you get those comments like, oh, you're big money, you're this. And I'm trying to avoid that. I don't even bring over to my apartment because of that. So I want the truth and any compliments or not compliments, advice you could give me to level up.
So I will say this. There is a group of men in the world who love plus size women, right? I say most African men, most Caribbean
No,
men like a full figure woman. I know that
no,
for sure.
no,
Have
no,
you
not
dated?
400 pounds. Ashley, you don't know nothing about African men or Caribbean men. Not 400 pounds. I'm telling you. And I'm from the continent. You don't know nothing. No, the men who will want 400-pound women are the broke ones, whether in the US, whether in Africa. I'm telling you,
Men who are African from the continent?
broke
Have
ones,
you dated Caribbean men?
broke ones.
So I live here in Houston, Texas, and I get approached and stopped. Like literally, they will not let me get out of my car, or like they'll be like blocking me in by Africans all the time. But
Really?
I feel like there's a lot of cultural differences. And, a lot of African men, they expect their women to be like a certain way, like, don't do this, don't do that. And I just find that it never works out. Also, I feel like a lot of African guys, they don't have that like quote unquote swag. They're like, oh, there's no girls in my village like you. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to your village. Um,
No, what they mean, there are no women who are 400 pounds in their villages. Not that there's anything, well, there's something special about you. You wear a lot, but yeah.
and
No.
then
I
also,
don't mean, and respectfully, I don't mean an African man who's straight from the continent who just arrived here this year.
right.
Maybe someone who's more, they've lived here a bit longer. They've, lived in America a little bit longer. I
Right.
would say a good 10 plus years. They're more
Yeah.
like Americanized, I would have to say.
And then I believe the way that I carry myself and even the way that I speak, I prefer black men, but they're always like, oh, you date white guys, don't you? And so I work at a synagogue. So most of the people that I'm around are white, but I prefer to date black. So it's kind of like, people have one perception of me and they tend to put me in a box. But it's kind of hard because I feel like, too quote unquote white, even though I'm fully black for black men. But then for white guys, I tend to get fetishized. So
So this would be my advice to you, Ken. If I'm keeping it real, I would want you to drop the weight. I would want you to lose weight. I would want, and you said you're 400 pounds, right, Ken?
I'm 365 pounds. And for any women that are looking for plus size clothes, follow me because I post every day.
All right. So I want us to get the weight down. Can we start with 100 pounds? Can we start there?
So I actually lost 130 pounds 2 years ago, and I was getting approached a lot, but I feel like a lot of women go through like body dysmorphia, and people were treating me so differently that I almost didn't know how to handle it. Like it was giving me a lot of
Oh my
anxiety.
God.
So I do believe if I dropped the weight, it would be helpful. Even my mother says that. She's like, well, if that's the only thing you think that, is
Yeah.
not working for you, change it. But I felt like even when I changed it, I was getting approached by more men, but not like the quality of men that I would want.
Because you were still big. Because if you're 400 pounds right now and you lost 100 pounds before, that means you dropped down to 300 pounds. I'm sorry, she seems like a nice lady, but she's still big. You know what she sounds like? And I'm a man, so I'm gonna tell you something, right? What this woman sounds like is like a man who's broke, can't keep a job, and wonders why women don't want it. Because the first thing as a man that you have to do is to accept the fact that no woman is gonna want you for you. She's gonna want you because you provide something. I don't care if that something is dick. I don't care if that something is weed. I don't care if that something is time. But most importantly, most of them are going to want you because of the money. If you're a provider, that's why Kevin Hart, worth $300 million, shorter than I don't know anybody on earth, can still get nice women. But there's so many tall guys who can't get a woman to save their life. Because at the end of the day, as men and women, we want different things from each other. When a man sees a woman, the first thing is like, okay, beauty. When a woman sees a woman, okay, it's going to be physical. But then when she sees him putting up in a Lamborghini, something's going to change. She's going to be like, okay, he's short, but I'll give him a chance. She's struggling to face the fact that men are really about the physical. Unfortunately, the same way women are really care about a man's height, the difference is a man can improve his height if he gets the wallet taller, if you know what I mean. But shout out to Miss Mariam for the $2 super chat. Always showing support and love to your boy. I actually just made Miss Mariam a moderator for my channel. So for you guys who talk shit, Miss Mariam will time you out. All right, let's go.
And what type of man do you want specifically?
A rich
How much
man.
money does he make? What's his lifestyle like? What is his character?
The
Can you
standards are going to
describe
be
that
high.
for me?
Look at the standards.
For sure.
Watch.
Definitely a high earner
See.
just because I am.
See?
I
Oh my God.
over 100K a year, which is
Oh my
kind of
God.
hard. I'm honestly not too big on like finances. I mean, of course I am, but I feel like with men, especially Black men, you know, some of them are just not there yet. But you know, I care about education. On my dating apps, when I use them, I always like try to filter out people that have like a graduate degree or above. High earning. I am not too big. I mean, of course, got to be cute in the face, but I'm not against dating someone who's bigger because I am bigger. But really, like, you know, fun, a sense of travel and adventure. I actually went on a 30-day road trip to Alaska, so I don't have a regular job. I want someone that can, you know, be free, kind of like how I am. And my mother told me I should go to Afrotech to like meet some guys because I'm here
Your
in Houston.
mother.
But someone that just has their shit together, you know? I feel like now a lot of women are like, oh, he has to make this and do this. It's honestly kind of hard sometimes just finding a man that has like a solid job, his own apartment, and like
That's
a
not
car. So I just want
That's
someone who
not
like
true.
is a full functioning.
That's not true. Most average men have those things. They have a Toyota Camry that's 2010. They have an apartment. They make $60,000 a year. You guys don't want those guys. This woman is 400 pounds and she says she wants a man who makes six figures, a high earner. Guess what? A woman who's 110 pounds also wants that same kind of man. Why would the man who makes six figures choose her over the woman who's 110 pounds and goes to the gym 4 times a day, 4 times a week? Like, that doesn't, like, seriously. Like, just using common sense. Seriously. The same thing would happen if, why would a woman choose a man who can't keep a job over a man who makes 6 figures? It's just the opposite from what men and women want. How come she can't see this? How can she have the capacity to make so much money, but she doesn't have the capacity to see such easy, logical
adult and, you know, can have a conversation. There was a man about 3 months ago who actually...
Before you tell me that, sorry to cut you off, Ken, about that you met 3 months ago, I want you to know, and it's unfortunate that we live in a superficial world, and I'm not saying you don't look beautiful or you don't keep yourself put together, because I think you do, right? But I want you to know we live in a superficial world, and I want you to know exactly what you're asking for exists. However, you have to change who you are to get that guy. So there are men who make 100K plus, who are educated, who want to travel, who read books, who can engage in intellectual conversations, right? They do exist. But I think you can open up and change your reality when we change ourselves, right? So I want us to work on our weight. I want us to drop the weight. And as you're losing the weight, just so it doesn't feel like, how do you say, like, wow, overwhelming when you're losing the weight, I want you to go to therapy and get you a fitness trainer and listen to affirmations while you're going through the process. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
But this is only your reality. I'm not saying, again, you can't attract a quality man, but this is your reality because of who you are right now. That doesn't mean you're not beautiful, but I know if we work on ourselves more, when we lose a bit of weight, it changes our world. It changes the options.
That's true.
Okay. And this goes for all the women watching.
And to the men
You don't
too.
even have to be 300. You could be 150 pounds and go down to 130 pounds, and that'll change your dating options. This goes for all ladies at any weight class. And so you were saying about a guy you met 3 months ago.
Yes. So I met a guy 3 months ago, and he was like, you're a good woman and I'm a good man. Like, he really wanted to date me. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been wanting, like someone that actually wants a relationship. But he was so boring. Like, literally, it was like talking to a wall, like watching paint dry. And I will agree that I probably like slept with him too soon, but it was like, if we are going to be in a relationship, I need to see if it's like good or not. I mean, it was okay, but it's like after we like had, intercourse, that's all he could think about. And
he clapped cheeks and he didn't want nothing else. If we're going to be honest, when a man likes a woman, he will have something to talk about. That's for sure. That I know for sure. Even if he's the kind of guy who doesn't talk too much, because I believe, obviously now, this is part of my job. I gotta talk, but in the real life, like outside of the camera, I don't talk like that, right? But when I'm around a beautiful woman, I mean, words come out. You know what I mean? When I'm around interesting people, so she's blaming the man for not being able to hold conversation. Maybe she's not that interesting. Maybe she's boring herself. But we know that always women blame men for being boring. For some reason, every woman believes she's a comedian. Every woman believes she's funny. Every woman believes she's confident. And it's the men who are unconfident, who can't hold a conversation. We know how the story goes.
Yeah, hold on, Ken. Ken, you over here talk about men sexualizing you, but you saying you got to test the eggplant first. Hold up now. So you want demon time too?
Well, no, this was like after a month, and he was like pressing me to be in a relationship. I was like, I don't even know if I'm like, I don't know. Like, he was, maybe because I hadn't had anyone that wanted to be with me like that before. He was so adamant. He wanted me to be his girlfriend. I was like, wait, this is like too much for me.
I think it was
also maybe I wasn't really feeling him like that. But he bought me jewelry for my birthday and like did all the things that I wanted, but he just wasn't for me. So it was
why wasn't he for you? Was it his looks? Was it
probably
what
money?
Was it that changed after you guys had sex? What changed?
He changed. He
just wasn't really interesting. I feel like I'm someone.
He had a fetish. We're gonna be honest. Some guys have fetishes for oversized. I mean, she's plus size, plus, but yeah.
One that gets bored kind of quickly. And I'm not trying to say like I was just like, oh, I just kicked him to the curb. Ashley, he was so boring. Whenever you sit with someone and y'all have nothing to talk about, like you have nothing in common, or whenever you're really holding the conversation and then you stop and then the conversation just drops. I really want to be with someone where we can actually have a bond, like have a friendship, not just let's do it. And
But wait, Ken, outside of, intimacy, was he taking you on dates? Was he doing things for you? Was he making sure you were okay? Were you guys, trying different hobbies, doing different things? Was he bringing you flowers, cards, and candy? Outside of being boring, did he check those boxes?
Yes.
So he was doing all of the things.
She's lying.
That most women want from a man.
She's lying.
But he was boring. So you cut him off because he was boring. That's what you're telling me, Ken.
I cut him off because I didn't think he was very emotionally.
You know how I know she's lying? Because that's a man she claims was boring. if I put him in front of two bad bitches, he's not going to be a boring guy anymore. I can guarantee you that. Because one way, in fact, women know this. When a man's talking too much, starts talking too much, that means he literally likes the woman. That's one of, I mean, women in the chat can tell you guys right now. When a man is talking too much or starts blabbering, that because he likes the woman. He's nervous, he likes the woman. But when a man isn't interested in you, he ain't gonna say shit.
Available, and he was boring. My car got broken into, and I was really, really upset because they stole some very sentimental things that you can't just rebuy. He was like, oh, don't worry about that. I can just buy them for you. And I was like, you're not understanding. I'll never be able to get those things back. Like, they meant a lot. And he was like, oh, I know how to make you feel better. We can just have sex. You probably need to have sex. And I was like, is the only way you know how to make a woman feel better to have sex or to buy her something?
Oh my
and
God.
I told him I needed more like emotional connection, and I gave him like a month to get it together, and it never happened. And we didn't have sex until after like a month or so of talking. And I'm not gonna lie, he was still boring, but you know, I wanted to see if I could really get with it, and I could not.
I mean, the level of delusion this woman is on needs to be studied. And you know what? You could find that so-called boring guy was supposed to be her husband, but she expects to find and be a player the same way a woman who's 300 pounds less than her size also wants an NBA player.
I do have one question for you. I would like to know if you have any advice about how to feel more confident going out by yourself. Because of my job being a content creator, which I'm sure you can relate to. I mean, I see you going out and stuff, but I tend to feel very isolated sometimes in my apartment. Like, I literally have so many boxes that I need to unpack. And whenever it comes time to go out, I'm feeling like a recluse. Like, I'm normally very extroverted. Everyone in the comments like, oh, she's just a yapper. Like, I'm social, but I've become a lot more withdrawn, and I'm not sure if it's because of my weight or if there's any ways I can just feel more confident. You know, like, I always try to look cute when I go out, have my hair and stuff done. And I've been having better experiences lately, but it's just a lot.
Yeah, I would say definitely when women start to feel this in my goals, I know for sure when we don't want to go out, it's because of our weight. It's because of the conversations we're having with ourselves, like a self-esteem thing. So once we get this together, right, we start back on our routine, we're working out, and we push ourselves to get out the house, right? You have to make it a habit. Just like you're dedicated to content, you have to be dedicated to getting out the house.
Dedicated to the gym.
So that means once or twice a week, you're going to a bar, you're going to an event, you're going out, you're socializing. So you get more comfortable in those spaces. And after a while, as a content creator, it gets boring. It's always just you. You should want to be around others. Right. You should want to like be able to put your phone down and just have a regular conversation that's not about TikTok or not about Instagram. Right. Does that make sense? So 100%. I want you to work on you, Ken. I know you're beautiful. I know you're confident in who you are, but I want you to continue to improve that, right? So go for your walks, change up your diet, work on you. I think you have a lot of potential. You're a very smart girl. You have a lot going for yourself, but I think you will open up your options 100 times more and get the guy that you think doesn't exist if you drop the weight. I promise you. I promise you, you will.
The only good advice about that was the fact that she needs to lose weight. 400 pounds. I mean, being a man who makes 6 figures and the best of your options is a 400-pound woman is almost similar to a woman who's in shape, looks beautiful, got her shit going on, you know, looking great, with a man who can't keep a job, or with a man who's in and out of jail. Now, some women pull it off because they like bad boys, but as a man, if you're out here on your shit, I don't know, man. And the truth is, it's her weight. But to have so many people around her who have never told her, well, she claims the mom has told her, but the fact that the mom let her get to that size, because I don't know her for sure, but my guess is the mom is probably the same way, same weight, no man, because usually things like that run in the family.
Thank you so much for all of your advice. I know I actually have a walking pad over here. I'm like, I have this equipment just sitting in my apartment. Let me actually use it. I really appreciate you letting me on your platform, and this was great. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And please come back before January 1st. I'm putting you on my list. I have a list of women. Okay. Everyone has different amount of weight they want to lose before the end of the year, or something they're working on. So I want you to check back in the month of December. Okay. With an update.
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
Doll? All right, beauty. Have a good one, doll. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I mean, I wish her the best, but I have no idea if I don't think, I have very little faith that she's actually going to try to lose the weight, because it's more comfortable to not lose the weight, man. I'm going to be honest. It's more comfortable to do comfortable things. It's not comfortable to do hard things, if we're going to be honest. It's not comfortable to study. It's not comfortable to work out. It's okay to work out it's easy to work out one day, but to do that shit 4 times a week and then track what you eat, and then, forget about going out all the time, and then think about doing that for 3 months, 6 months, 24 months, because for her weight, 400 pounds, the best thing, I'm going to be honest, the best thing she can do right now is use Ozempic. She gotta have to use some drugs, some medications to lose that weight. She's just not going to lose that weight just by working out. At least it's going to take her like 5 years just to lose, even to lose 200 pounds. So she may have to use some Ozempic. What do you guys think about that? Honestly, that's crazy. A shout out to Ashley. So for that, we're gonna go to, I wanted to do a Kendra G for you guys. So we see more delusional people out here.